And I think that it's hustle. You got to constantly be pushing forward to be able to make any inroads anywhere else.
Yep.
And I like some of the individuals that you have on here, I look at their hustle and I can see what they're doing, and it makes me want to be just as successful as them, right?
Yep.
But the only way I'm going to get there, in the same way that you're going to get there, is through the hustle, I think. It's challenge, right? If I was trying to use my personality, you might say that I have a jovial personality or an easy ability to speak, right? But if I'm trying to make a contact with, even any of the realtors that you've had on the show before, right? You need to offer them something. You need to speak with them in a way that is going to get them to trust you, to have confidence in you, right? And the only way I could have done that was I had to push myself out of that box, because I felt that I struggled with the confidence at the time, because I wasn't sure, am I going to be able to be that smart person that they need guiding them and ultimately their clients, right? But you need to build yourself. You need to grow yourself, and that will come
with confidence.
I think it comes as my confidence grew. My ability to go out there and reach out to people is it's a little bit easier. I would have never spoken with you perhaps when I was in my first year, because I don't know if I was necessarily as confident.
And yeah, it's like you said before, it comes with sacrifices, right? Not everybody wants to pick up the phone at 8:00 at night,
right?
So if you want to be like, here's where I think you have to establish yourself is, if you want to be mediocre, work 9 to 5, don't take any calls after 8:00 or after 5:00. That's fine, but don't expect to have incredible results, right? Don't expect it. It still could happen.
It could definitely,
but don't
happen,
expect it, right? If you are now, taking up, you want to be ultra successful, you'll work from 6:00 in the morning to 11:00 at night, go to bed, wake up, do the same thing, like all those gurus, right?
Yeah.
Go for it. Expect results.
Sure. That's
probably, right? Doesn't mean they'll happen, but expect it. Now, if you want, like you said, if you want to be super successful, but you want to try to work less hours, build a team.
Yes, I think so. And yeah, it's that building that team that maybe if you were to ask me 2 years ago, I wouldn't really know what that looked like,
right?
Or how that would function. But it's something that I was forced into as the volume grew and as the growth occurred, right? You're forced to make those decisions, and whether you like them or not, whether you like micromanaging or not, sometimes you have to figure out how to make it work the best.
So true.
Right? Or falter.
Yep.
Right? It's just, I guess it's a personal preference, right? It's not for everybody. And I don't know if it was necessary. I don't know if it was necessarily for me if I was looking back at myself 10 years ago. I don't know if that was necessarily me. But as I, put my foot in the water and now I've slowly walked into it, I feel like my personality, my work ethic, my ability to grow in my confidence has helped me. Yes. Right? And it's something that I enjoy doing, and therefore I want to see results from it.
Right. And it motivates you. Right?
It does motivate me. Yes, I am motivated by a lot of different aspects of this. So I think that, that's what's pushing me to do it.
Right.
Not because I have this desire to constantly work myself to the bone. No, I'm not. And I love my downtime. I love relaxing, right? But you have to be very methodical, right? And you need to support your team. Like, my wife is a huge part of my team too, right? Because she is there to support what I'm doing. It's not easy sometimes at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. If they need you there, somebody needs you to answer the phone because they have an offer going in at 5 p.m. and you're at Happy Ralph's. I mean, it's not easy, right?
It's so true.
It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice that sometimes I'm willing to make, but also I have to understand that it can't be all the time.
There's a balance.
There has to be a better balance. And that's what I struggle with too, man.
Yeah.
Is figuring out what that balance is.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that's part of my journey as well. I have to figure that out as well.
Which comes with everybody, right? Balance is like everybody's different personalities and what everybody's willing to take on. And I guess it also depends on the circumstances, right? I mean, you're married, you have kids.
Yes.
That's a huge factor in whether or not you're going to work harder or less, or, you know what I mean? Whereas myself, I got nothing tying me to the pole. So I'm like, I'll go as long as I want. But granted, I still have things, that are maybe not pushing me to work as hard, or sacrifices I need to make. everybody's in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody might be able to put, some people maybe be able to put more time into something than somebody else, right?
For sure.
But at the same time, it's how bad do you want it and how much are you willing to set aside for that?
I like that. And I get that message from a lot of your podcasts, right? Is how bad do you want it? And
Yeah.
I think I think that as I've grown as an individual, that has become more part of me.
Right.
Whereas I was not necessarily like that in my 20s. It wasn't necessarily about going out and taking what I wanted.
Like the sense of urgency.
Yeah, it's a way different mentality. I wasn't like that. I was fine, like even keel. Like I wouldn't push myself as much in my 20s as I do now in my 30s.
Well, Eric, we got to cut the cameras, but like, thank you so much. That
this was great. Thanks, man.
Very well said. So listen, guys, if you want to listen to the Meeting Gold podcast, if you're listening right now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. Feel free to watch some of the best YouTube clips. We are filming our podcast as well, so if you want to see Eric's lovely face, you can do so. So we'll post a couple teasers on Instagram. It's also on YouTube, but be sure to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and download it if you can. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Eric, we do really appreciate you coming on. We've had some very special guests, you now including one of them.
Thanks, man.
So let's go on from there and stay tuned for the next couple of episodes. Cheers, guy.
See ya.
See ya.